Good evening. It is 6:30 p.m. on 10 May 2022. This is the time and place set aside for the regular meeting of the Northern Lebanon School Board Board of Directors. I call this meeting to order. Director Klein, you have the flag salute this evening.
Would you please join me in a flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, would everybody please join me in a moment of silence? Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Martin, may I please have a roll call?
Bucks, England,
Present.
Moore,
Present.
Szynski,
Present.
Murray,
Present.
Klein,
Present.
Marlowe,
Here.
Erdman,
Here.
Nom,
Present.
Director Bucks absent. All other members are present.
Thank you. We'll move to item 2 of our agenda, and that is the adoption of tonight's agenda. You have all received that in advance. Is there a motion to approve the agenda for this evening?
Motion to approve.
Is there a,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I apologize. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of adoption of the agenda, please vote by saying yes or aye. All opposed, or say yes or aye.
Yes.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. The agenda is adopted for this evening. We'll move to item 3. This is presentations. I'm going to make a slight change in the order for tonight. Alex, I'm going to throw you a curveball and ask you to go first. Our student board representative is Alex Selby. Thank you.
Hello, is this on?
It is.
Okay. So there's going to be a field trip that the student council is doing on the 26th for the members of the student council. We have Powder Puff for next year scheduled on October 1st and Homecoming for next year scheduled on October 8th. And we also voted for new officers. And since most of the officers were seniors, we have basically an entirely new set of officers, except for me. I was thankfully reelected.
Congratulations.
And that's all.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're going to move to the last one. We have a report on the Costa Rica trip. Natalie Snyder.
Buenas tardes.
Hey,
Tonight, I have the honor of sharing with you a snapshot of our recent trip to Costa Rica. I am proud to report that our group of NL students represented our school, our community, and our nation exceptionally well. I received compliments from hotel staff, restaurant servers, our bus driver, and our guide about how polite, thoughtful, helpful, and engaged our students were. The trip was packed with cultural learning, new experiences, new friendships, life lessons, and adventures. I'd like to acknowledge and thank my fellow chaperones, Adam Molinaro, Stefan Wentling, Christy DeMakowitz, Trish Schafebook, and Rhonda Sowers, who provided a stable backbone for our journey. And we offer our sincere gratitude to the board for recognizing the value of experiential learning and travel. It is my pleasure to introduce 2 of our student travelers who will share some of their reflections.
Hi, my name is Abby Boynowski. I'm one of the group of us who had the privilege of traveling to Costa Rica in the month of March. We had many fun activities to do there. However, we also had homework from our other teachers that we were able to find time to do. One of my favorite memories of the trip was going to the school to play games and read to the kids. They were shy at first, but they quickly warmed up to us after we played soccer with them and did a sack race, which I fell over in. It was embarrassing. It was awesome to see these young kids work on their English while we were there to work on our Spanish. I think one of the things I was most worried about on this trip was not getting along with everyone. I was proved wrong when I saw everyone come together as a family and new friendships built or old ones became stronger. It was truly a life-changing experience to be immersed in the culture and experience new things, and for that, I'm very thankful.
I'm Anna Klingler, and I also had the experience of going on this trip.
I was very grateful for the opportunity Northern Lebanon and Samira Snyder gave to me and my fellow classmates to travel abroad to another country. Getting to go to Costa Rica opened my eyes to a whole different world than what I am used to and gave me so many memories. We got to visit a school and interact with the little children, reminding me of how grateful I am for the education system in the US. One of my favorite parts of this trip was getting to travel with my friends, especially getting to swim in the Pacific Ocean, hike the Arenal volcano, and swimming in the hot springs. This trip was one of the highlights of my high school career, and I made memories on the Costa Rica trip that I will cherish forever.
And I wanted to add some more voices. A lot of the students kept a journal for class. So here are a couple of excerpts from student journals. One of the things I asked them to do is write a haiku about something that they experienced. So here are a few haikus, maybe give you a visual picture of some of our events. This one's called Tree. The strong tree stands tall, ecosystem of its own. It may never fall. Kayaking. This is Lauren. Back and forth I row. Partner is doing nothing. Really tired now. Volcano. Trails are winding up. Clouds part for us to observe. Once alive, now calm. Beach. Swimming and tanning. Also putting on sunscreen makes a good beach day. And waterfall. Surrounded by green, refreshing, cool, clear water. Feels just like a dream. And a couple of other excerpts. One student said, I learned to slow down, to appreciate nature and all the things I have. Another one said, I feel so much more grateful for the opportunities I've been given. Traveling has made me realize that the US is capable of doing better environmentally. If Costa Rica can do such a great job with sustainability, we can too. Many children in Costa Rica have to travel a long distance to get to school. Then at school, they might only have one teacher and their resources are very limited. I've learned to be thankful and grateful for the opportunities I have with school and in my daily life. I sometimes take for granted how lucky I am. I love the sack races at school because it felt like I was a kid again. It didn't feel like we were Americans or Costa Ricans. We were all just kids. This experience has made me come out of my shell a bit. I talk to classmates that I normally don't talk to in school. I want to travel more because of this trip. I'm more open to new experiences and trying new things. This trip has made me want to explore what the whole world has to offer. I want to become more fluent in Spanish to make my travels more enjoyable. This trip made me more global-minded and gave me a new perspective that I didn't know I needed. I have a new love for traveling and cannot wait to do more. So we'll wrap up with a video clip of some of our trip highlights.
On March 14, 2022, 37 students and 6 teachers departed from Northern Lebanon High School for a 9-day educational tour in Costa Rica. After a year-long delay due to the global pandemic, it hardly felt like the day could finally have arrived. Some students had been looking forward to our departure for 835 days. Upon arrival in Costa Rica, we met our knowledgeable guide, Guillermo, and our skilled bus driver, Apa, and headed to the BRYCE coffee plantation. There we learned about how coffee is made, from planting a tree in the ground to roasting and brewing.
On day 2, we traveled to Arenal, stopping on the way at a local fruit stand to try many new flavors and textures. After lunch at a local sustainable farm, the group hiked on an old flow lava trail along the base of Arenal volcano. With a clear view of the top of the cone and a gorgeous overlook at Lake Arenal, we even got to observe a sloth and its baby foraging in a tree along the side of the road. After our evening meal, we stopped in the town of La Fortuna to get ice cream and walk around a few shops.
Day 3 was packed with adventures, starting at the La Guardia School, where one teacher educates local students from kindergarten to 6th grade. We learned about the school and met the students, then practiced our Spanish while competing in some friendly sack races, playing a football match, jumping rope, teaching some volleyball moves, tossing frisbee, and playing hide and seek. Before our departure, NL students read books to the kids in Spanish that we had brought to donate to the school.
After the school visit, we traveled on to the La Fortuna waterfall, where we hiked down over 500 steps to swim in the cool, clear waters at the bottom of the majestic cascade. Then, after lunch, we spent the afternoon kayaking on Lake Arenal, with an opportunity to take a swim in the lake. To end the day, we relaxed at the Baldy Hot Springs, which are naturally heated by waters flowing near the volcano. Some of us braved the water slides, while others lounged in the steamy pools or relaxed in the sauna.
The following day, we stopped at a cacao plantation to learn about how chocolate is made. Our guide, who called himself Chapo El Guapo, kept everyone engaged and entertained. We got to see some incredible cacao grinding dance moves, followed by a taste testing session from a bowl of freshly prepared liquid chocolate with an assortment of toppings. Then, we started a long drive to the Monteverde area, with a stop in the town of Tiburon for pastries, fresh coconut juice, and other snacks. After we arrived in Monteverde, the group explored the town, practicing Spanish and trying more new foods, and settled in at our family-run hotel.
Yeah, where are you? Over here.
On day 5, we split into 2 groups for ziplining and a cloud forest hike. The zip lines offered beautiful views of the canopy, fun conversations with the guides, and a chance for some to push beyond their comfort zones. The final zip line was over a half-mile long, high above the treetops. At the Santa Elena Reserve, we explored the dense forest, learning about the plant life and spotting wildlife, including an orange-kneed tarantula, an emerald toucanet, millipedes, and black swans. We also got to plant some native trees, which will become part of a wildlife corridor connecting forests throughout the country.
Day 6 started with a drive to the Pacific coast. Along the way, we stopped for a crocodile boat tour on the Tarcoles River, which included some close encounters with enormous crocodiles. We saw iguanas, raccoons, a basilisk lizard, and birds of many shapes, sizes, and colors. Later, we rode aerial tram cars high into the rainforest, trying to spot unique plants and animals along the way. We even got to experience a downpour while on the aerial cars, giving us a better picture of what the rainforest must be like in the rainy season. We also spotted some scarlet macaws and green parakeets at the end of this trip. In the evening, we arrived at our hotel just in time to see the sunset from the beach. Some students touched the Pacific Ocean for the first time.
The next day, we woke up extra early to visit Manuel Antonio National Park. As we walked through the park, we got to see howler monkeys, white-faced capuchin monkeys, iguanas, and hermit crabs. We swam in the warm Pacific waters, enjoyed the amazing beach views, and tried not to get too sunburned. In the afternoon, we worked on homework, enjoyed the hotel pool, napped, and spent time getting to know our fellow travelers. After another beach walk and a stunning sunset, we enjoyed toasting marshmallows and learning some dance moves from Guillermo.
On our last full day in Costa Rica, we visited the town of Sarchi, where we admired the talents of local artisans and purchased souvenirs for our friends and family. In San Jose, we took COVID tests and later celebrated that everyone tested negative.
How might one summarize a trip of such epic proportions? Each traveler can bring to mind their own unique favorite memory, a moment or image that can still be seen clearly, one that will be treasured for years to come. We bring back many intangible yet invaluable resources, new and deepened friendships, gratitude for the opportunities we enjoy, epic stories, broadened worldviews, a rekindled appreciation for language learning, a desire to explore and protect the earth we live on, and a special place in our hearts for a small but beautiful nation called Costa Rica. Pura vida.
I should give a credit to KALYN Wall for putting that video together for us. Thank you. Thank you.
Natalie, thank you, and the rest of the staff for putting that together for our kids. And they were all at work when the next day when they came back. And went and it looked a little tired, but they were all at work. So appreciate that. But no, I know the kids had a great time, and thank you for putting that together.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Snyder and the other advisors and chaperones. What a great opportunity. And students, glad we were able, after a hiatus, unfortunate hiatus, to be able to send you again. That's an experience you're going to remember for the rest of your lives. So thank you. Excellent report. Really appreciate it. Moving on, I would like to announce that the high school students of the month for May are Victoria Hollinger and Aaron Weidman. This award is sponsored jointly by the Fredericksburg and Jonestown Lions Clubs, and each recipient will be recognized at a future meeting of the Lions Club. The middle school student of the month for May is Lindsay Baumgardner, and for June is BRYCE DEITER. This award is sponsored by the Northern Lebanon County Rotary Club, and each recipient will be recognized at a future meeting of the Rotary Club. Congratulations to those recipients. Tonight, we'd also like to recognize all of the high school students of the month for each of the months for the 2021 and 2022 school year. Dr. Messinger and Director Erdman are going to present you with an award.
Kelly is going to organize you for a picture because I know all of the seniors love pictures. I'll call if you can find the plaques. They're in order. They should be in order. At the top, Nate. Right there. Hang on. Yeah, no, they're not alphabetical. They're done by month. So our September students of the month, you're going to come up here. We have something for you, and then hang out over there. Sashi Patel and Luke Dresch. For October, Delaney Dyer, and I don't think she was going to make it tonight. Rachel Swink, I don't think she did. So it's just D. All right. For November, how do you pronounce that name? Ashlyn Messinger. Todd Dresch. That was my sense of humor. For December, Jaya Patel and Ella Whitman. For January, Brant Barr and Rachel Herenging. For February, Abigail Boyanowski and Lauren Wortluft. For March, we have Gabrielle Degler and Anna Klingler. For April, Bryce Bomberger and Christian Moyer.
We look very similar.
That is me, yes.
You were very adamant about that. That's right. Yep. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And for May, Victoria Hollinger and Aaron Weidman. And to all of you, Kelly's going to get a picture, but while she's lining you up, when you look at this, you know, we're looking at a senior class this year, 150 to 160. I don't know that they're all going to finish up on time, but this is a group that has been recognized by their teachers, outstanding young men and women. And they really are leaders, and so just proud of their accomplishments and glad they could be recognized. Congratulations to all of you. You have a choice. You can stand there holding that for the rest of the meeting, or you may go if you'd like to go.
Yeah.
Congratulations, everyone. We'll give everyone a minute to file out or stay if you choose to.
Yeah. Back around, right?
I figured.
Ashley's not staying for the rest of the meeting.
I know that she
Yeah.
wants to, but she.
Great. Great. We will move on to item 4 of our agenda. That is the superintendent's report. Dr. Messinger.
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. If you haven't noticed, it is May and there is a ton going on. Spring sports are wrapping up, but there's concerts. There's actually one tonight over in the auditorium. There's a lot of awards show assembly programs coming up in the next couple of weeks. So look at the calendar and you're certainly invited to come to any of those, but it is that time of year where we celebrate a lot of our kids, and it is neat to get to see things and get to see them perform. In addition to that, I promised I've been trying to give you an update on the climate committee and discipline committee. The discipline committee is dividing up into subgroups at this point to work on the layout of the handbook, to talk about cell phone usage, to talk about our hallway usage, which I think I've talked about before. And then ultimately, some of them are interested in exploring PBIS as well, positive behavior interventions. So we're going to talk about that, but we're going to work on some of the handbook stuff and lay that out. Our next meeting, I believe, is next Thursday. Climate committee meeting has established or is finalizing goals and action steps to achieve those goals with concrete things to put in place. There's been a lot of great ideas that the teachers have thrown out there. You know, for instance, just to give you some example, you know, and there's a lot of different avenues. We're trying to look at a lot of different things. We have some athletes that we're scheduling to go to a leadership conference next year in the fall that's coming to Lebanon County that I think is exciting. We have teachers that are looking at how to conduct morning meetings to have that group interaction and for social, emotional kind of health types of things. There's things like invite your favorite teacher to a concert, to a sporting event, to to get staff involved as well, and for students to be able to essentially share with teachers that they are mentors for them. And so and then the list goes on and on and on and on. But as we looked into our different goals, we're generating ideas, and certainly we won't do every single thing at once, but I think there's a lot of good steps that'll be in place. And you already see, I think, some things happening. I know they had an honor roll breakfast this past week. There's the new logo is being distributed all over the place. You can use your Viking bucks and get things. My son just got a keychain with the new Viking logo on it for as an honor roll accomplishment. So I think there's a lot of progression already, but a long way to go. But I think the committee's doing a good job of brainstorming ideas. So we will be wrapping up for the year in the next 2 weeks, and then we're going to spend a day in the summer doing some work as well. And from a building standpoint, just to give you some progress, I know we haven't gotten over there yet. We've had some exec sessions and then it's dark, but they're putting the roof on the gym this week. And the pads are poured over down here at the concession stand field house already. The rest of the footers for the elementary will be done this week. I mean, you can see it going higher and higher. So it's coming along, and it is a good point if we can find a good day to get out there. It is a good point where you'd enjoy, I think, walking through and taking a look. So we'll figure out when to do that. But the progress has been great. The weather's been fantastic other than last Friday, but last week and then this week, they are making up for some lost time that they had earlier in the year. So pleased to see that. And that's the end of my report.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Dr. Messinger? Hearing none, thank you for the report. Item 5 is old business. Is there any old business for the good of the order? Hearing none, we will move on to item 6, which is the public comment. In accordance with Board Policy 903, all individuals wishing to participate in an open board meeting were asked to register their intent with the board secretary by 3 p.m. today, and unless advertised specifically differently. Participants will be recognized by the presiding officer, that's me, and must preface their comments by an announcement of their name and group affiliation if applicable. Each statement made shall be limited to 4 minutes in duration. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic unless all others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard. All statements tonight shall be directed to the presiding officer. Again, that is me. No participant may address or question school directors individually. I understand, Mrs. Martin, that we have one person that wishes to give public comment. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And I believe that is Ginger Troxel. Mrs. Troxel, are you here? Great, thank you. When you start, please give your name, and if you represent an organization, please state the name of that organization. And if you wouldn't mind, just give me a moment to get my clock ready. And I will also interrupt you when there is 30 seconds left, just so that you know how much time you have remaining. Okay? Thank you. Please state your name and any organization you represent.
Good evening. My name is Ginger Troxel. I am just a parent. On the night of the school board meeting in October, which I realize is long past at this point, something happened that I want to make you aware of. That evening, I came over to attend my son's cross-country meet. There were 3 schools in attendance, including Elko. There was also a game being played on the new field, a game down in the stadium, and something was even going on in the backfields. That means there was a minimum of 5 visiting schools here that evening. There was no concession stand open that night. This may sound trivial, but as I was sitting in the bleachers down at the track, a group of Elko parents walked by with a child saying she was hungry. The parents grumbled that there was nothing here to eat or even drink. They said, I guess we have to go over to Pizza Town to get something for the kids. There were quite a lot of spectators here for all the sports that night. Basically, we not only lost the chance to make a lot of money that evening, we showed absolutely no hospitality to 5 visiting schools. To me, that is completely shameful. I did contact Mr. Rizzo and explained my concerns. He completely agreed. However, he assumed there was an issue with getting people to work at the concession stand. I proceeded to tell him about a program that would solve the problem, but no one seems to know about it anymore. 6 years ago, my daughter was in track. I was told that if a parent volunteered for the concession stand at least 3 times, the student would get $100 knocked off the cost of their letterman's jacket. It didn't matter what sport you worked for, like she was in spring track, I could have worked during football season. Unfortunately, I wasn't told about this program until the season was over. Mr. Rizzo was quite surprised and of course knew nothing about this either. He said he liked it and was going to check into it, but now he's gone. I do not know who's responsible for running the concession stand, but by sharing this with you all this evening, I'm hoping that the right people will be informed and maybe a program such as this could go into effect upon the opening of the new field house. But parents need to be made aware of it so they can participate if they so choose to. If you offer an incentive, there will most likely be plenty of people willing to help. We all want our kids to be welcomed and treated hospitable when they go away to games at other schools. We all know the golden rule of treating each other the way we want to be treated. I know some sports are not near as popular as others, but even those sports should be offering some sort of minimal refreshments to guests. How can we expect other schools to offer our kids things we don't offer visitors? Currently, we have nothing to offer spectators due to obviously no building. There could have at least been a table offering bottled drinks, or even we could have gotten a food truck for the spring sports this year. Again, this may all sound trivial, But you're spending all this money on these fields and buildings, yet currently spectators are greeted with limited parking and porta potties. One last thing, my son's track uniform is falling apart and some kids have different uniforms that do not match the whole team. The cross-country team has not had new uniforms in 9 years from what I've heard. It would be nice if our athletes got to wear uniforms that everyone matches and the threads are not hanging from them looking shabby. I would simply like to ask that you please consider the spending of our tax dollars on the kids by providing presentable sports uniforms for our athletes. And also please consider the creation of an incentive program, as mentioned earlier, encouraging parents to volunteer so we are able to welcome visitors with our small town hospitality. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for your comments. We are excited about the building of a new concession stand, and we hope that we will put that to good use. But thank you for your comments. Very much appreciated.
And I will echo the uniforms, and Dr. Kuiper is aware and is putting together a list of the teams that have not had uniforms, the order in which they have, how long they've had them, and putting together a replacement cycle for us. That was something that he noticed right away, and he's working on. Those are great points. Thank you.
Since there is no more public comment, we'll move on to items for board action. It should be noted that public notice was given for this meeting in accordance with Act 84 of 1986. By notice of the president, the following action requires voice vote. All votes in favor shall be stated with an aye or yes. All votes opposed shall be stated with a nay or no. All members abstaining shall state I abstain when prompted. The votes will be recorded in the minutes as a unanimous roll call vote unless there are any votes in opposition or abstention. If necessary, the president may subsequently call for a roll call vote to be recorded in the minutes. Item 8 is the consent agenda. Dr. Messinger.
Yeah, just ask that you would approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the consent agenda?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. We'll move on to the items for discussion, which is item 9. The first one is 9.1, the budget. Dr. Messinger.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. We had moved it to discussion in case there were any questions. In the meantime, I shared with you that we had some good news in terms of some funding, additional funding. We don't know exactly how much at this point, and also we're hearing some positive things out of the state. We also, again, don't know how much, but it seems to be favorable, those two items. But at this point, we have to get a proposed final budget approved. And so we're going to give you the information that we do have and then we discussed last week. That has not changed. If we get updated information, and I don't know that we will, because we're sitting here in mid-May and that will be June 4th, I believe, or 6th, or I forget what the date is, but the meeting is in early June, and I don't know that we'll have state funding and things to change anything. But right now, like I said, there may be some positive stuff, but here is the proposal for the final budget.
Are there any questions for Dr. Messinger regarding the budget? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the final budget?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? I would just like to state for the record that I think this budget was a very difficult one to put together. These are certainly very difficult times financially for everybody. To include this district, I think the budget reflects a lot of hard work. It reflects care and attention to not only the needs of the district and the specific needs of the individual components of the district, but it also does pay attention to the impact that it will have on the community, which we acknowledge is not insignificant. But I think that this budget moves the district, continues to move the district in a positive direction. It gets us to the point where we have desired to go in funding the district properly. It sets us on good footing going forward, especially with all of the initiatives that we have going on. So I'm certainly in favor of it. At the risk of having the last word, I open it to anyone else that has anything to offer for discussion. Hearing no discussion, we will take a vote. All in favor of approving the final budget?
Aye.
And seconded. Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, the motion carries. Thank you. And we'll move on to 9.2, and this is the election of the board treasurer. I understand that we received nomination for Director Marlowe to continue serving as the board treasurer going forward. Are there any other nominations at this time for board treasurer? Hearing none, is there a formal motion tonight to nominate Director Marlowe for the position of treasurer?
I formally motion to nominate Director Marlowe for treasurer.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Director England with the second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Congratulations, Director Marlowe. I'm getting tongue-tied today
I'm a
with my
doctor now.
directors and doctors. You are the doctor of the Treasury, and we appreciate your service in that role. Thank you very much. I'll move on to 9.3. Dr. Messinger.
Yes, I'm going to group, if it's okay, can talk about them individually, but I'll talk about it. We have three, if it's okay, can talk about them individually, but I'll talk about it. We have three plans that are up for tentative adoption. The first is the ATSI school plan. This has been something that's been, we've been working on since I came in October 2019, because of the lack of state testing, we had an improvement area with special education students. And they were working on the ATSI plan at that point in time. As it turned out, they couldn't do anything with that then because there was no state testing. So you can't get out of it until you have state testing that counts. So we're stuck in this year after year approving our ATSI plan. However, we make adjustments to it. And Kelly and Dr. Ebert worked on our ATS, put a lot of time into our ATSI plan to have some tweaks for next year. I know one of the things that's in there in terms of interventions, I really is a great step for us, I think. But anyway, they have that up for tentative adoption. In addition to that, there's two other plans, our special education plan and our induction plan, which is part of the comprehensive planning process. If you were serving on our long range plan committee, back when we did that, you received a copy of this in your email with an opportunity to comment or to reach out to Kelly or Brad to talk about the plan. Honestly, I get frustrated by these plans because if you look at it, it has to be on this very complicated state form that is just not user friendly. However, it is something we have to do, and so therefore we did it. And those two plans are up at this point for adoption. And then you'll see the next month, you'll see the comprehensive plan. And I am taking the goals from our long range plan and our action steps from that, and I'm plugging them into our comprehensive plan. So it's going to, in a much more complicated format, it's going to look a lot like our long range plan. But I have no control over the formatting and what it looks like, unfortunately, because it's really not something it's easy to sit and rate. But those are the three plans that are up for tentative adoption tonight.
Great, thank you. Any questions on these three plans? Okay, so we are again voting on items 9.3, 9.4, and 9.5. Hearing no questions, is there a motion to approve these three items? Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to the vote. All in favor of approving items 9.5, 9.4, 9.5, and 9.6?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Items 9.4 through 9.6 are tentatively adopted. I'm sorry, 9.5 3, thank you, 9.3 through 9.5 are adopted. I stand corrected. We'll move to item 9.6. And for the record, I did ask to have this placed on the agenda for this evening. Dr. Messing, would you like to talk us through it?
No, and that's fine. We actually were ready for it. And frankly, it's not a bad thing. Our fall coaches are listed, our head coaches are listed. Some of them are still finalizing assistants. We will bring the assistants that we know in June, along with some other head coaches for later in the year. But like to get them approved. Some of them want to meet with their kids, start talking about what's going to be happening over the summer and the workouts and things like that. So this way we have them approved and they can get together and we'll make it official. So they're there for you tonight.
Any questions? The poltergeist has a question. Okay. Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the fall coaches?
Motion to approve the fall coaches.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to the vote. All in favor of approval for the fall coaching list? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. And we will move to the last item for voting tonight. Discussion is 9.7 employment.
Just a couple of employments for you. One is some temporary help over the summer. That's to support Michelle Rhodes with receiving as she's going to be out a little bit. And then we're starting to look at replacements for next year for some folks that have moved on putting in place. So we still have some interviews left to do. If you know how to speak a foreign language and want to teach a foreign language, we could use French. We'll try German, Latin. We'll take it. We're having a hard time finding foreign language. So if you know anyone that knows foreign language and is interested in teaching, we'll get them the right certifications. But there are not many people getting certified in foreign language right now, and so we're still looking. But we found physics and we found English.
Any questions? Is there a motion to adopt item 9.7?
Motion to adopt 9.7.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of approving 9.7? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Employments are approved. Thank you very much. Item 10 is information items.
Just one. The Spanish club is finally going to get to go to Spain. Just a reminder. This June, everything is a go, and so they will be getting to go, and glad to see them finally be able to take that trip.
Great, thank you. Item 11, reports of representatives. Change order committee. Is Director Bucks? She's not in attendance at all. That's right. Director Fowler, do you have anything to report on the change order committee?
I was not at the last meeting.
Director Marlowe.
Yeah, there was I'm trying to remember the last meeting.
It was, there's about a $15,000 change order for
had to do with locks.
Door locks.
Yep.
And there was an engineering issue. They laid it out for a central location, and I'm not going to be able to explain this incredibly well, but essential, you can run auto, the door locks we use to get in and out of the building with your key fobs. Okay. You can run those on a power pack at the door, or you can run it off of a central location. And they put power packs they thought it was supposed to be power packs in the door, but then the way it was designed was for a central location. So there was some miscommunication along the lines of with the engineers, way over my head in terms of construction. Anyway, we either had to buy the power packs for the doors, or we had to buy the central unit. The central unit was $100,000, and the power packs for the doors were $15,000. So we went with $15,000. We're actually going to have the same exact problem down at the concession stand, except it's only going to be about $2,400. So that was the change order for this last meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you. CTC, Director Klein.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. IU 13, Director Murray.
Just an announcement that the IU 13 will be celebrating their 50th anniversary. That celebration will be taking place on Thursday, June 9th from 4 to 7, rain or shine. It is free and open to the public. And there'll be lots of family activities, food, cupcakes, and more. So encourage you to attend that event if you will be in the area.
Great, thank you. Good report. Legislative Liaison, Director Kimball Tazinski.
Nothing at this time.
Okay, PSBA liaison, Dr. Bucks. We do not have an alternate. I do know that PSBA this month is receiving input on modifications to their legislative platform. I would invite everybody to give that some thought. As we've discussed previously, the PSBA legislative platform is currently something in excess of 10 items, maybe 15 items. And it's, in my opinion, no wonder that nothing really moves along. So from my perspective, I think it may behoove PSBA and perhaps this board to suggest some modifications that might limit that to a couple or 3 items of specific interest, but that's something I would invite everyone to give some thought to. I'm sorry, Director Marlowe, you are the alternate. I apologize. Did you have anything to report on that as well?
I am. I would agree with you that, trying to bring it down to a couple items makes sense. I don't know if the board as a whole could do that and we submit a letter or something to PSBA, but I would suggest that if we can't do that individually, we try to advocate. I would just also say on the PSBA side, there are a lot of good training material on the PSBA site. We all have access to that through our membership. And so I'd encourage you to go out there and look at that, take them. Some of them are 15-minute courses, some of them are an hour, but it's good stuff. Good refresher stuff if we've already gone through it even.
Great, thank you. And again, I apologize for overlooking you on that, for overstepping. Thank you for the report. Item 12, new business. Is there any new business? Hearing none, I would just note the dates to remember that we have listed. This board is scheduled to only meet one time in June. That's on the 7th, but we do have the 14th reserved if necessary. The other dates are there. Graduation also is noted for 7 p.m. on June 8th. And there's a number of other end of year events that are listed down there. That is it for the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I would like to publicly announce that the board will be meeting in executive session. I have it starred right here on my paper and looked it over. We will be discussing personnel matters immediately following this meeting. Thank you for that. With that, is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.